is Christian, and today I'm looking at Exodus chapter 31, verse 14. You must keep the Sabbath day, for it is a holy day for you. Anyone who desecrates it must be put to death. Anyone who works on that day will be cut off from the community. In the Old Testament, God made a commandment to his people, and he said, you can do whatever you want for 6 days. Go to work, go to school, be around your friends, do everything you want. On the seventh day, that day is for me. You aren't allowed to work, you aren't allowed to do anything. That time is supposed to be set out for just me. Now, we fast forwarded to 2018, and our days look a little bit different. Some of us work on Saturday, which would have been the Sabbath. Church now usually happens on Sunday, still a work day. Some of us, our church services on Friday night, some are on Wednesdays, some are on Tuesdays. What our life looks like is not quite the same, but I don't think what God has commanded has changed. He said, if you don't take that time, that Sabbath, if you don't make it a holy day, the Hebrew word there for holy means dedicated, if you're not dedicating time out for just me and you, death is what happens. And I think we actually see that in our world. There's death to vision, death to purpose, death to our jobs, our careers, our families. The version I just read says we're actually cut off from the community. Our friendships don't last. When we aren't making dedicated time for us and our Father, everything else in our world dies. Now what happens is we don't always notice the death coming. Sometimes you are just a little bit busy today, and so then I'll read the Bible later on this evening, but then by the time you got home you were a little sleepy, so you were like, I'll do it in the morning. But then when you woke up in the morning, the kids got up earlier than you did, so then when you got to the middle of your day and you just start to slip away that time, that Sabbath, that dedicated time for God, and you didn't notice. But then what also you don't notice is you're starting to argue a little bit more with your spouse, and work is a little bit harder, and your boss is talking a little bit more crazy, and I meant to call my friend back, and I actually now haven't talked to her in 3 weeks, because as we were starting to lose that time in the Sabbath, slowly our relationships and our life was being put to death. There's a translation of this verse that says that if we don't keep the Sabbath, our soul is cut off from the community. That's what happens. Your soul, that part of you that connects with people, it doesn't connect anymore. Just because you've started to take away time from you and God, that also takes away time from you and your friendships. Your marriages don't start to look as healthy. Your relationships, your friends, you notice, I haven't talked to them in a few weeks. And it's the same thing because you haven't talked to God in a few weeks. When we're not taking that dedicated time out for God and his people, spending time in church, in your small groups, in your Bible studies, we are cut off from community. Your church members don't know how to pray for you if you're not around. They can't help you in those financial places that are a little bit rough right now if they don't know that they are rough. You connecting in your small groups and in your church services and with your friends over coffee, that's part of what God has commanded us to do. Community is a requirement. And when we're not keeping that dedicated time, death is inevitable. And the scary part is you may not notice until it's too late. If you found yourself not maybe spending that dedicated time with God like you used to, or maybe it's a brand new concept for you, take some time out this week. It might be 5 minutes, it might be 5 hours, but dedicated time to go, God, it's just me and you. Right now, you and I, in your presence, in your word, and I want to hear from you today. I guarantee life will come from it. Love you.